Hi there. Welcome to Life Between Coasts, the podcast where we dive into our personal journeys connected through synchronicities. So grab your coffee, light a candle, and let's begin. I'm your host, Leah, and we're glad you're here. Today, we sit down with Antonio. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
For having me.
Yeah, so Antonio, start from the beginning. Let me know a little bit about you, where you come from.
I am from Oak Park, Michigan. It's in the Metro Detroit area. I'm right off 9 Mile and Coolidge. Oak Park baby. Went to Oak Park schools. Always was on the computer. Always loved media, editing, entertainment, music. Went to Oak Park High School. It's when I started making my music. And when I graduated, that's when I found my passion for working with children, working with the youth. And now I'm currently Eastern Michigan graduate. I graduated in April.
Congratulations. And your degree is in?
Secondary education.
Okay.
Theater communications.
Ah, nice. So what side of the performance? I love that. I was the drama club in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I did the sets and things. I wasn't on the front stage, but
you did like design.
yeah,
design.
behind the scenes.
How'd you like that?
I loved it.
Yeah,
we did the lighting, but I'll tell you, in my high school, it was the old high school. So we graduated from the one that was built in the 50s. So the next year when they opened up the new high school, they had a full auditorium, full lights, oh my gosh, an amazing,
And
full.
you still did design then?
No,
Okay.
I had graduated. I was gone. They got a pool and the theater, and it was unreal. But I did go back. It was an amazing adventure.
It's kind of like my high school. Like they have like a whole cafe in there now. I'm like, where was this?
I didn't have it.
Uh,
But so graduated from Oak Park then.
Yeah, from Oak Park High School.
Okay, and then so why did you choose Eastern?
I chose Eastern because I was going to Specs Howard. I forgot to mention that. I went to Specs Howard School of Media Arts for a year. Graduated certified in broadcast media. And I could transfer, or I was told that I can transfer my credits to Eastern.
Okay.
And then some of those credits transferred. So yeah, transferred to Eastern, I should say. And it was during COVID, so everything was online.
Okay.
I wanted to just get out the house, get my own dorm, so I came to campus, but everything was online.
Okay.
And then it slowly started to open back up, and then I just fell in love with the community. I fell in love with the community, the genuineness of just being able to walk on campus and make friends, and everything's organic. I feel like that's not everywhere.
Yes.
So yeah.
And I think I do believe that you find that more here. It sounds funny. It's probably on many campuses and things like that, but it's that ipsy real. I think it's real people. There's no pretension. It is what it is. And that's how people are very open and display themselves. So that's why I like being in this area myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Ipsy. I mean, I recently moved back to Southfield, moved back in the Detroit area, but I do miss Ipsy sometimes. Yes, I love it here.
Yeah. So now you've graduated. So now how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. So you seem so composed for a 24-year-old.
Thank you very much. I try,
Yeah. So now you're going on to become a teacher,
Yeah.
and you're a high school teacher.
Yeah.
And specifically in what area?
Theater and communications.
Okay.
So like speech, entertainment area.
Excellent. And then what high school will you be teaching at?
River Rouge.
River Rouge. Yeah. What's their mascot?
You got me there. Is it it's like
I don't know.
No, you got me there.
So some questions to be answered, because next time I see you, you'll be promoting it.
No, I got that for the interview, but thank you.
Yeah, so they'll say, okay, all right, let's see how this is going. So now, what was your favorite part about going to Eastern? What classes? Well, and both that or Specs Howard. I mean, Specs Howard is a broadcasting school, if people are unaware.
Yeah.
And so they prepare you to go on air, to do things, that basically what we're doing here. I'm looking at the camera, but I have no training to do. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. But there's no formal training here. We set up some mics and created our set because this is the passion, so that's where it brought up.
Now we here.
You got it.
But I can talk about both though. Like I can talk about Specs Howard. My favorite part, honestly, was the radio. I'm not gonna lie. Like they trained us on like being like news, like doing live TV, editing, video editing, but my favorite was the radio. I love to get on the radio, play music and talk, kind of like how we're doing now. Like,
Right.
and that's why I do like podcasting because it's similar to that vibe. But yeah, I loved radio at Specs Howard, and what I loved at Eastern Michigan was my communication classes.
Okay.
So I guess you can say I'm really interested in in the communication
Hmm.
arts.
And what do you think guided you into this field? What do you think? You said you started music
Yes.
in Oak Park when you were a kid,
Yes.
working just dabbling with the computer or
So I
vocals?
started off, my mom got me my first MacBook. Like I always grew up watching like, pop stars. Like I grew up loving Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
uh, Justin Bieber, people like that. And then my mom got me my MacBook in 7th grade, and I started making like remixes of my favorite songs. Like I take the acapella and like
Okay.
remake them to my own thing. I was
Right.
like, man, I want to start making my own music. So I started that when I got to 11th grade. I
Okay.
started writing my music, producing beats, and it gave me a voice. It gave me an opportunity to be myself in my most comfortable way. Like I'm in my room, I'm recording. It's almost like my diary. So yeah,
Yes.
just since then I've just been working on using it more. Is that like
That
a
well, and
diary?
that's exactly what I was about to ask is where do you bring these lyrics up from?
Oh yeah.
It's the diary. It's the writing what's in your heart and on your mind.
So what's on my spirit, I feel like God is telling me to talk about right now. Like, when I feel, and I've been working on it more because it's harder to get in the studio when you start working and stuff. But like, once I feel compelled to just hop on the mic or start writing something, just got to do it.
It just
Like, that's God talking to you.
right. It just flows through you at that point because
Yeah.
that creates your purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. How much fun is that? So now 24, so 7, you've about 15 years, 14, 15 years been working with music.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And have you put out any albums or just songs or have you created what do you do with your music? How do you get your music out there?
I distribute my music on all platforms. I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, whatever you use. Queso Tone. I go by Queso, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. How did you come up with that name?
It's so funny. It's kind of embarrassing, but I was literally in class. I was in like biology class in 11th grade looking for a new Instagram name because
Okay.
I'm embarrassed. My Instagram name was El Poppy Tone. And it was El Poppy Tone. And yeah, I wanted something else that had like a Spanish twang to it because I'm Antonio, you know?
Right, right.
But I was like, so here's the kicker.
No.
And my slogan, because I started my YouTube channel at the time,
Right.
it was queso,
Uh-huh.
because we getting that cheese. So yeah, that's how that name came about. It just stuck with me. It stuck with me.
It's good. It's good. I that was when and so everyone know TJ who was recently a guest. You actually work with him through
Yeah.
My Brother's Keeper in the Formula 734, and so when I said to him, anyone you know, he said. I've got this guy, and he sends me this your Instagram link, and I looked at it and I said, Queso Tone. Okay, how do you get that name? Because there's always a reason, for a nickname. My dad's nickname was Canine, and
Hard.
there was the clean version and the not so clean version. And there was the version I was told when I was 10, and then the version when I was actually, which I assume that the second version was the proper one.
Yeah.
But K9 was it. And if you go anywhere where he lived and you say, "Did you know K9?" "Oh yeah, I knew him. He was a good guy," or this, or they just know him. That's how. But they didn't know.
It's okay.
You're right. And even funnier, my mister, I was doing a real estate showing and he was with me. And it was with some family members who referred to my dad by his first name, which was Dave, and said, I wondered if Dave could do this. And my mister actually looked at that family member and said, Who's Dave? Because he only knew him as K-Night.
That's kind of like how like queso is for me though. Like it's almost like you're born with the name, like you're given a name, and then as you grow older, you establish a new name for yourself. There's something so important about nicknames to me and pseudonyms. Like, you establish your own identity. I'm big on you establishing who you are. You telling people who you are. So I love that. I love that your dad got canine. Sounds vicious.
Oh yes. Well, my mister did flip it on him and did call him Mad Dog for a short bit. So, we love him for that too. But they the actual version, and I'll tell you just for curiosity's sake, the clean version was that it was an all you could eat lobster fest and he ate 9 lobsters. And to a 9-year-old kid, you're like, okay, you buy that. Like, wow, dad was hungry, He went to school in Maine. He loved lobster, no big deal. Didn't think that. But the real version was he was on the golf course and he'd walked up, and this is before
Yeah.
marijuana was legal, and he'd walked up to a friend and said, "Hey, do you have something?" And this friend he was the nicknamer of everybody, basically. He was the guy that applied those nicknames. And this friend said, "No, I don't." And my dad reached across into his pocket and pulled out a bag, a dime bag or whatever it might have been, and said, "Well, then what's this?" And he's like, "You're a canine, like a police dog." And that's where it came from.
Why didn't I even make that connection to who says that though?
Oh, yep.
Crying.
So, yeah, it was that, and his ringtone everyone called, was "Who Let the Dogs Out." That was
Spell it K9.
well, A-9. Mm-hmm.
He's goated for that.
Yeah.
He's goated.
Yep. Gotta love it.
That is hilarious. Okay, so like what nickname do you go by? Do you have a nickname?
I don't.
You
No,
what?
I don't. I just want to be Leah. That's it. Just Leah.
That's fair.
Just Leah. I just like Oprah or Cher.
Yeah.
Just Leah. That's it. I think that's a pretty strong, just in its own, because there's a, because it's, that's my identity. I've always just been Leah, and I've had numerous people throughout the years say everybody needs a Leah because of things that I've helped them with or things. So just Leah.
I know that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
So I like that. So now going back to your music, so you've released now how many songs?
It's a lot now. I will say I released my first song in that was 2018. I started posting on SoundCloud. Then I started putting my music on platforms when I graduated. Now I'm at 3 projects.
Okay.
Out. I can't even count them. And I have singles out. It gotta be like 100 or so that I have out right now. It has to be. You making me want to count.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an exact number, but that just shows your passion.
Yeah.
And it shows that you have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And it shows that who's ever providing you with some of those words, that's a big thing too.
Absolutely. And it also shows, I feel like when I listen to my old projects too, it shows how much I've grown as a person. Like it's almost like how you like looking at old pictures. Like that's what music is for me too.
Yeah.
Because like I go back to a project I released even 2 years ago, and I'm like, bro, I sound so different now. I've been through so much since then.
And the 3 songs that are on your more like recent that you said the song, the Letter to Yourself, or
yeah, I have my most recent songs I've released are "Wish You Well," "Envious," "Sometimes You Need a Vacation," "Letter to Myself," and "Take a Flick."
Right, and so they are all different vibes. It's very interesting. But you have an amazing voice. I mean, honestly, when I listened to it, I was like, listen to this, and then he does this, and then listen to this, and he does this, and it was just, I was shocked. I'm not shocked, like, but it was awe, really.
When people say that,
because it was not. Most people might go into one genre, but we're seeing a lot of crossover, I think, across the board in the music industry in any rate, so you see, Beyonce with her Cowboy Carter, and then you see how Taylor Swift went from exactly, and even just the different crossovers between just the combinations of people coming together, like Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga and all of that, so it's an amazing industry. Have you had any big takers, or hey, you've got to join us?
Like you talking about, like people interested in working with me?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, doing Formula 734 with TJ, like that was a big one for me.
That's huge.
Yeah, like that definitely helped me get my engine. Like I've learned so much about my own engineering, and I've just learned so much from working with TJ and working with our coworkers. And yeah, like they and shout out Dr. Raw Wallace, like he got me tied in with there, and yeah, he just took me under his wing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they took to me because they seen what I was doing.
And how did you connect with Formula 734?
It was Dr. Raw Wallace. He connected me to Formula 734. Yeah, I met him through our other colleague at Eastern.
Okay, so Eastern is what the base was. That was the connecting factor.
Yeah. The connecting factor was Eastern for
And I point that way because that's where
there's you Billy there. There you go. Yeah, just got tied in with Formula 734. And I just learned so much. I love working with TJ. Shout out TJ too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's always been such a good egg. And obviously they have the opportunity, our listeners have the opportunity to experience him in the previous episode. So
Yes.
so that's wonderful.
Honor.
Yes. Yes. No, and it's amazing when you're working with people that have that drive and that passion to help and mentor.
Mm.
And so what did Dr. Wallace, now, how did he just approach you and say, you need to be part of this, or
Like he like
just like that?
Yeah, because we start working because I'm a part of a fellowship called Next Scholars at
Okay.
Eastern. It's focused on young educators, just aspiring educators. And yeah, we start working on doing a podcast for Next, and it just ended up connecting. He said, "Yo, you really have to come to this organization that's helping young artists build themselves up."
Right.
And he just really thought that I would play a great factor. And I'm thinking at first, I'm like, I need to be built up. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I started like kind of second guessing myself. But I was like, you know what? Let me just take a chance on myself. I've been doing this for a minute. I've been recording and doing engineering production for a minute. Like, let me go in and see what I can bring to it. And it's
Right.
brought more to me than I feel like I brought. Like, seriously.
Well, it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's, you bring what you can to the table and somebody else is going to bring what they can to the table, but you're able to cross barriers and just work together. Because and learn. That's the key, because there's so many strong-minded people.
Mm.
I can do it. I don't need your help. I don't need your assistance, right? And so when you're in a group like the Formula 734, you're bringing together and you're mentoring, but you're bringing ideas. And the younger kids, like you said, might be teaching you something because they're going to see some of the newer technology faster or be more adaptable to it. Because it's something that, they haven't fully engrossed and worked in one specific software for 10 years, where you might work with just one group or one thing.
And that's why I love working with kids, period. Like the kids, when you think about working with kids, you're always thinking about taking care of them or, you having to teach them something, but not, they teach you so much.
Right.
And it's so rewarding because it makes you just realize the beauty of life. Like, you were that kid like at some point in time, you were that kid. You were learning things for the first time and you started to develop your passions and things like that. And it brings me back to that moment. Like you never get done learning.
Right.
Like when, you stop learning when you die.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
agree.
yeah.
And why do you think education was so important for you? Because you think about it, not every family pushes education. Not and I've said before, my dad was in the trades. Trades are not a bad thing. My mom didn't go to college. My dad went for a semester on a baseball scholarship and then realized he actually had to go to class and came back.
No, that's
That's different.
No, and that's very important too. And that's what I tell a lot of people that are considering going to college. Like you have to, and let me get back to your question. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
My family pushed for education. My mom, God rest her soul, she went to school. She became a registered nurse. And my grandmother, she is a retired school teacher from DPS. And she always instilled in like not only me, but like her children, like go to school, go to school. And my mom was the only one to do that. And she did it because it was something that she was passionate in. And I'm not mad at my uncle's decision not to go to school because if it's not for you, it's not for you. Just don't count it out.
Right.
Don't get scared about the debt or get scared about the pressures that may come with it. Like you literally, college is such a learning experience. Like you get out there and you learn so much about yourself. Like,
Right.
you get in there, you may have to change your major. You know what I'm saying? You get in there, you may realize you don't want to be there. At least go make the investment towards yourself. That's what I tell people.
Hmm.
When it comes to college, it's an investment.
It
You're
is.
spending money on yourself.
You are.
Spend it right.
And you do your earning potential in certain areas is greater when you have a degree,
Right.
because you don't have to have a college. You have to have a college degree to be a teacher, but a teacher of life or other things you don't necessarily have to have that degree for. So
Right.
you mentioned, God rest your soul, for mom.
Yes.
What happened?
My mom passed away when I was 17 in 2018. It was very sudden. Um, it was of natural causes. It was health related. Yeah, it broke my world. It was always me and my mom. I was grew up single mother. So yeah, it definitely impacted me, and it definitely helped push me to start releasing my music and do my music. 'Cause I
Right.
remember when I showed my mom my first song, like she was like, "Well, I need to hop on this." Like, yeah. So yeah,
So she was your number one promoter.
yeah, yeah. That was my number one fan.
So you were 17
Yeah,
and natural causes, only child, just the two of you. Well, you're, you're graduating high school, you're starting the next chapter, you know, what were your coping mechanisms other than music? I mean, obviously music was number one because that's where you poured yourself into.
yeah.
But how do you move forward?
God, knowing that you have a bigger purpose, knowing that life and it's an unfortunate lesson that you have to learn so early, but I feel like the older you get, you learn that you have to keep living. You're on here for a reason. This is your life. You have to live. And you're gonna lose people along the way. You're gonna fail along the way. You're gonna, not everything's gonna be good, but you gotta realize it's worth it, and you're worth it. You're worth to keep pushing.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what, like, losing my mom taught me that very early. um it also showed me that, when you're in vulnerable states, you can get in some messy situations,
Mhm.
uh and that's not good. So yeah.
Everybody copes a little bit differently, and there are times, there are good ways to cope and there are bad
Bad
ways to
way.
cope.
Bad people to be around.
And sometimes, yes, and sometimes you don't recognize that until it becomes right in your face,
Right.
that until the evidence is right there. And hopefully before that evidence presents itself, hopefully are able to remove yourself from a situation before it becomes
Or
to the point where you can't turn back because now you've done something or you're no longer here because of somebody else doing something that's cost you your life or something else.
right, or being led in a direction that you thought was gonna help you, but
Right.
really wasn't servicing you at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I think there are people that feel like they can't go on when something else like that happens.
Mm.
Um,
It's easy.
and it's hard. And I don't know how to conceptualize, how that somebody like that would feel because my mom, even though I lost her when I was young as well, I was 25, so a little bit older than you. I recently lost my father, and I'm an only child. My brother passed when I was young, so solo person. And so with all of that, being that sole survivor, and I say survivor because it makes you stand up, because if you say victim, you close yourself in. Victim is like you turn into that fetal position, and you crawl into bed and you put your blanket over your head, and you're not going to move forward. But if you say I'm the sole survivor and you sit up and your
Check
your
it out.
your chest is out, your shoulders are back, and you're a survivor. And that's why when I watch the news and I see these horrific things that happen, and when I've seen times of mass shootings and they refer to the survivors as victims, I hate that label.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lake Orion. Oxford was just north of us, so I'm very familiar with Oxford. Not that high school; it was the new high school. Again, they got a new one too. But when something horrific like that happens, and children coming of they were your age when they lost their life because of a mass shooting. But I don't want to ever look at those students that were there as victims. They need to know that they were survivors and they have to stand up tall and show that they are resilient and that they can persevere beyond that. and not be labeled as the victim and have to be like given medication and told that they're, supposed to be depressed because they went through that. It's a moment or a chapter in life that they have to close and move forward.
Very unfortunate chapter. And like, you bringing up mass shootings and things like, there are just like traumatizing things that happen when you're young, or dealing with loss when you're young. Like, you have to learn, like, you have to stand up, like you said, stand up with your chest out. You're here, you know.
Right.
You may have lost whatever you lost or whoever you lost, but you're here. What are you gonna do with it? You can't waste it, and they wouldn't
Exactly.
want you to.
Right. And that's in my brain. I always use that. Your mom is so proud of you. Oh gosh, your dad is so proud of you. These are the things that are in your brain when you succeed. And it's like, man, I wish she was here to see this. But then you stop and you go, no, no, no. She is here. She's watching this. She's maybe even orchestrating some of it. You never know. And so those are the fun things. Those are the things that we have to look forward to. Now, does that change your perspective on time? Because how old was your mom? She had to have been young.
40,
Yeah. See,
44.
yeah. My mom was 51. So again, I'm 46. So so that's much closer to me in age. And so you think about just how short sometimes time can be.
Yeah.
So does that change your perspective on the things that you want to accomplish in life?
Absolutely. It changed my perspective on making sure I embrace every moment. Because you never know when the last time you're going to talk to somebody. And that made me realize that, because a lot of times when you're around someone, a lot of times it's easy to take it for granted because you're used to it. You're psychologically used to this person being there, and, interacting with them however you interact with them. But once they're gone, it's like, it's all, you can think of all type of shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I mean, it's not going to matter because, they're gone. So what are you going to do when you're in people's face now? When you're in that person that you say you love, what are you doing for them, and what are you saying to them right now
Mhm.
that they can see and that they can hear? Give people their flowers while they're here.
Mm,
That's what that taught me.
I like that.
Yeah, give people their flowers while they're here. I love that quote because it's important because, I mean, hey, put flowers on the casket.
Yeah,
It don't really mean nothing, no.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're right, because they're just gonna wilt and die right along with the memory, not the memory, but the body of wherever they go.
Yeah.
I used to when I worked in hospice, they used to bring flowers from funeral homes or soon to be expired flowers from florists into the inpatient hospice, and then we'd arrange flower arrangements and put them throughout the hallways and in the rooms and things like that for patients. And that was one thing after my mom's funeral. I Any of the flowers that were there, I had bundled up and taken to the nursing home that was local to the in Lake Orion there, to have them arrange some flowers and give them so they could be enjoyed, um, just in the memory of somebody else. But it was flowers bring smiles to people's faces, right? So
Make you feel appreciated and
yes.
things like that. And it's important to make people feel like that, especially if you love them, you care about them, and make them feel like that when you're in front of them.
Mm,
Like, like I have no problem like telling people that I love them, my friends, like, I appreciate you, like, I love you, thank you for always being there for me, like, because like I said, you never know.
but
So,
you always have to have
yeah.
some sort of framework foundation. Now, who kind of going back to your Instagram a little bit, saw a picture of grandma in there. So who do you rely on? Who is it? Grandma that you go back to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
like my best friend, and she always has been there for me, like all my life, helping to take care of me, helping my mama take care of me.
Yeah.
Like, it's always been me, my mom, my grandma, and my uncle Mo. And yeah, he recently just passed away too in May, shortly after graduation.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's definitely been teaching me a lot too. Um, so yeah, just moral of the story.
So now grandma's lost both of her kids.
Yeah, two kids. Yeah.
Did she have more, or
Yeah,
just the
she
two?
has two.
Okay, so she has two more. So she's lost two. That's tough for her too.
It is. That's why it's important for me to, be there, make sure, she's supported and that she knows she has somebody that she can talk to too. Because this is also another topic. Like, it's easy to look at your parents or adults in your family almost like they're above human.
Right.
But then the older I'm getting, I'm starting to realize, like, man, like, I start to think about, ways that my mom had or ways that my uncle had, and it's just like they came from somewhere. Like,
Right.
just like how I have my ways that come from somewhere,
Mhm.
So that's also something important I've been learning too.
Yeah.
So
It is. Yeah, it's a good it's good to go through bad things
hmm.
sometimes to be able to know how how to control your reactions. I mean, they're very emotionally tense times. Anytime anyone passes, everything is emotionally charged, and sometimes you learn things, about somebody that you never knew after something like that happens. But having grandma there is probably just a nice comfort. How old is she?
She is 75. She's about to turn 76.
Oh, and you said she was a school teacher at GPS?
Yes, for over 30 years.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. I've
She
heard,
inspired me to do she inspired
yeah,
me
it
to
was,
do teach.
yeah. So and now her influence of education, making sure, of course, you said your mom was the only one that took her up on making sure she got the college education. But that obviously filtered down to you because they pushed you, or didn't necessarily, it doesn't sound like they had to push you.
No, they didn't really have to push me. They did instill in me that, but like, you know, I definitely wanted to. I knew like I've always had like a vision of how I wanted to be as a grown man.
Right.
And the things that I wanted to do. Like I knew I always wanted to work with the youth. And like the more I got in high school, the older I got in high school, I started to learn about the networking aspect of college,
Right.
just the opportunities that you can get from that.
Hmm.
So that's what pushed me
Well,
personally.
and it sounds like because of, Dr. Wallace and, going.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, exactly, and that connects you to the Formula 734, which then also connects you to My Brother's Keeper, which then just opens the door for the connections of people. The human connection is everything,
It brought me here.
and it brought you here, and that's even better. I mean, I look at the smile. This is amazing. Just your story. I mean, we talked literally for 2 minutes on the phone. I think it was just to say hi. I said, "Tell me a little bit," and you said, "Well, I just graduated college. Obviously, I have music, and I'm going to be a teacher." And I said, "Perfect." And I could just hear in your voice that you just had that upbeat. And I told you a little bit about me and just some connection with TJ, and you didn't know something about TJ,
Yeah.
and that was about the three of us sharing, basically losing our mothers at a very young age. No, we weren't single digits, but we were at times in our lives when it was very impressionable, because those are the times when we're setting our own path,
Right.
and we're finding out who we truly are or where we want to go.
When you expect them to be there with you
Yeah.
in that moment, you don't expect to lose them that young.
Exactly. And you're like, no, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be that guiding hand. And then when they're gone, you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
What's next? What do I do?
Right.
And without without even thinking, you just persevere. You just go forward.
So
Now, what is your strongest message for somebody that is young, that's facing the loss of somebody?
do it for them. Do it for them. Just know that don't allow your life to be in vain, because they wouldn't want you to give up on yourself just because they're not here. You gotta live. You gotta live. Life doesn't stop. Time doesn't stop. If you have dreams, you have passions. Yeah, you have a purpose on being on this earth. Like don't allow life to stop you in its tracks. You have to take control of your life. You gotta literally grab life by the horns and steer it in whatever direction.
It's true.
Like,
You do. Yeah, I think you have to drive the car. You have to drive the car, because there are going to be outside influences, good or bad. You have to make your choices, good or bad, and you have to live with the result of those choices. And you can come back from bad choices, and you can excel with good choices. So you just have to know and trust yourself in those choices that you're making or you're setting for yourself.
yeah.
Uh,
And realize what's serving. And that's something else that I've been learning too. Like you have to pay attention to what you're getting out of situations and what you're getting out of whatever interactions you're having. Because if it's taking more out of you than it's giving, probably not a good thing.
Yes, that drain of energy,
Yeah, it's
it's
like if it takes the life out of you,
not good.
not good.
And how do you I always so my and I've talked about this in a couple other episodes, but I've referred to it now as spigots.
Mm,
So it's turning because I like that analogy because it's when you turn it off,
mm,
you can shut the person off, but it doesn't mean you can't turn it back on. And you can make it a slow trickle. But you can control how much you want them in your life or in or out. So just think about how you turn that nozzle. And so you can get those bad people or those toxic energy drainers out of your life. And sometimes you just need a pause so they can understand how their impact is. And some people can change if they choose to. And some people just will never do. And then so that's where you limit your activity. You build a bubble around you that they can't touch you, with whatever they say, act, or do and you live your life because you have to protect you.
absolutely. Yeah. Definitely have had to do that. I've had to distance myself, love people from afar.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm super religious, but I am spiritual. I do believe in God, and I know that God puts people in your life for a reason.
Mhm.
For a reason, sometimes for a season. But
Mhm.
you learn things from people around you, but you also learn a lot about yourself from the people around you too.
Yes.
So yeah, when you're dealing with negative people or you're dealing with people putting you in negative situations, look at it and be like, what do I not like about, and you got to just critically think about it. What do I not like about this situation? Why do I feel the way I feel?
Mhm.
Because it's important. Don't brush it off.
Right.
Don't brush it off. Focus on you, prioritize you, and think about the future. Where is this going to take me in the next 5 years? If I keep messing with this person, if I keep letting this person, uh, say these horrible things about me that makes me feel less than, like, how's that going to affect me in the next 5 years?
Mhm.
So,
Right. Because it's your conscience or it's what's weighing on you.
yeah,
Because once they say it or do it, I always say they don't think about it again.
yeah,
It's done. For them, it's done. And a lot of people a lot of it is just it's getting that reaction out of you. So it's saying something to you just to get that reaction because that's when their endorphins release and that makes them feel better that they did that. And so I've been learning and you see a lot of different trends with some psychologists and things that are posting their little reels and things on the socials. And it's really interesting how they tell you how to counteract that by basically responding with a question. Can you repeat that? Because when you make them repeat it, apparently it just takes away all that rush of good feelings, when somebody says something bad to you to get that reaction. And instead of you reacting, you say, what did you say? Can you repeat that for me? It takes it away. Or if and Alexis and I were talking about just how behaviors again, and so if somebody comes at you and you say, did you mean to sound like that?
mm,
It's, like, perfect because it stops the person. It makes them rethink how they're approaching you and what words are coming out of their mouths because words matter.
and then it
They mean
makes you
everything.
think like, why is this making me feel good? Like,
Right,
especially if you check somebody like that. That's why I appreciate you saying that. Because like sometimes people do need that wake up call, like, like, why do I think this is funny?
right.
Why?
Did you mean to say it that way?
Right.
Did you mean to sound it? And it's just like, if we can get everybody just to kind of think in that same way. I don't want cheap or anything, but if we can get just a common ground, I think that would be beneficial because there are people that go from 0 to 60 and it's a fight.
Mm,
And it shouldn't be, that's what they're looking for all the time. And we should be able to ease in and back down very quickly and get a get out of a tense situation without it escalating to violence.
right.
You understand? And
Absolutely.
so those words that come into to play. But I think as a society, we just need to be better. I went to I guess it's Virginia. It was Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's house, and he has 10 rules. and I like his rules. So look this up if you do. It's called the 10 Rules of Thomas Jefferson, and one of them is um, if mad, count to 10. If really mad, count to 100.
Mm.
So, but that gives you that pause to let your brain recalculate, so then you don't do something stupid.
Like if you're mad, count to 10. If you're really mad, count to 100.
Hmm.
I like that.
So those are
Yeah.
the things that I think, just dropping in little bits here and there, that we can change how we are as a society and how we react to things, because that's the one thing we all 100% have control of, is how we react.
Yeah, and like that's like and like how we were just talking about, like with the person, like, and having them kind of checking them and making them check themselves. Like sometimes you don't really know why you are the way you are. You're just the way you are.
Mhm.
Sometimes you do just have to accept that. But if there is something negative that that you realize about yourself and that you consciously choose to not change it, I can't burden myself with that.
Mhm.
So if I can't have it around me, I have to prioritize myself and step back.
Yeah.
But I do like, kind of like having people second guess themselves or check themselves real quick and be like, I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. Why do you think this is cool?
Right.
Mm.
And it's a polite way of saying it.
Yeah.
And you're not causing for, that defensive cross my arms. Don't, exactly.
Yeah.
You know. Now so September, or when does school start?
September.
September. Okay. So upcoming class.
Yeah.
So your first job as a teacher, high school teacher in communications. What's the message that you have for your upcoming students?
Be willing to learn as much as possible, especially in public school. Because I remember as a teenager, like a lot of it could be like, oh, why am I learning this? But just know that it's for a reason, and everything that you're going through right now is going to build who you are in the future and the adult that you're going to become.
Right.
So yeah, just be willing to learn as much as possible from everything, not just in class, academics, but socially, talking to, your other classmates, your teachers, the adults, even principal, janitors, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Just be willing to learn as much as possible and seize every opportunity that you can.
And what do you hope to take from your students when you get there?
I hope to take from my students. I want to learn as much from them as possible, like just things about myself, maybe like things I want to take. It's like I know what I want to say, but it's kind of hard to word it. I want to learn as much as much about life from them as they're learning from me, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Because
Mm-hmm.
times change, and I feel like the older you get, you kind of forget where you come from at that developmental stage
Yes.
and how important that stage is in shaping who you are and building who you are and your passions and things like that. So I wanna just be inspired from my students,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I wanna be inspired.
Well, and as you're embarking onto this new
Yeah.
chapter for yourself, I mean, it's another journey. You're still in that period of discovery for yourself. And so that's the fun part, because you're going to learn from them, they're going to learn from you, and you're forging your path forward. And so outside of being a teacher, but it sounds like that isn't going to stop in the classroom. That's something that you seem to spread that message much farther than the classroom walls.
Absolutely.
And then being with music, what are um, what are other aspirations that you have for yourself?
Fitness. I love fitness. I the biggest I was in ninth grade. I was 340 pounds,
Wow.
and I started to have bad health issues,
Mhm.
and it inspired me to, and that along with being the wanting to be the performing artist that I know I want to be, or the man that I want to be.
Right.
Fitness is becoming very important. The things that I eat, making sure I'm not feeding myself with like the junk that I was eating, exercising more is very important, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel mentally good. So yeah, fitness is something that yeah, that's my avenue right now too.
Okay. I Eating well is good for me. I do walk, but I'm terrible at fitness. I bought actually I take that back. I didn't buy it. I 2 years ago asked for a stationary bike from my mister for Christmas, and he bought it for me, and it's a clothes rack. I put it together, still haven't used it.
So it's a close rack. It's crazy.
Oh, I keep I'll get there.
Dude,
It's there. I will. I'll get there.
but I mean, that's
Confidence in myself.
like you should though. Like you should like try it out.
Yeah.
Like
And I did. I used to, not this specific one, but ellipticals and stationary bikes and things, those were my go-to machines anyways. So I figured instead of paying whatever $20 a month to somewhere that I wasn't going to go back into
right.
because I never made the time to actually go there, for 2 years that I was paying them, I might as well just buy one. And at least if I don't use it, at least it's paid for, not charging me monthly,
Literally,
you know?
and it's in your house.
And it's in my house, so it's there. I just have to use it.
Nah, I felt the same way though about the gym and all that because I literally like I remember I couldn't even do a push up
Yeah.
like in that grade. Like I could not do a push up, and I'll never forget it was this event called Hustle for Your Heart
Right.
that came to our school, and they had like a bunch of physical activities, like they had dance, hustle, karate, sports, and I did the karate. And like these workouts, like I did find myself getting winded at them, but like after the wind, after the heavy breathing,
Right.
I felt more powerful,
Yeah.
and I felt good. I'm like, wow, I just challenged myself, and I
The endorphins and the blood rushing through, I mean, just everything. Yeah, you feel great. You do. After a workout, you do feel great. Don't get me wrong.
it's and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get doing it too. Like it becomes addictive. Like you want to feel good, you want to feel lively while you're alive.
Yes. No, I understand that. Okay, that'll give me the motivation.
Is this like and it also is like you invest in like how we talk about investing in yourself.
And that is, it's investing in your house. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, and now I'm going to make the assumption that the anthem, as you know, we're going to go to the anthem project here. So as I've described to you before we went on air, the anthem project is your personal song that speaks to you. That's your song, that tells you, that, you put on for before that interview or before, you need to be pumped up. And so my assumption, and I'm going to say that with over 100 songs out there, it's going to be one of your songs. So what is your anthem?
My anthem, it is a shameless plug, but it's true. Envious, my most recent single. It's like it's the most summarizing song right now of how I feel right now.
Right.
You can't be envious of someone that's out here trying to survive like you.
Right.
That's out here trying to follow their passions and follow their purpose like you. Don't be envious. Support, show love.
Yeah.
And I've been in situations where I feel like people have tried to belittle me or tried to put me down, discourage me out of envy. But they don't know me and what I go through for real. And I feel like if you did, you would respect that and you would want to support. So yeah,
I love
that's my anthem right now. Like, don't hate, appreciate.
And I
Yeah.
I don't hate, appreciate. I like
Hey.
that. I think, yeah, don't hate, appreciate. That's I know, and I like that song. I got to tell you, I've listened to it over and over. Your Instagram.
Look,
It's just got such a great dance beat to it. It is so much fun. We do a whole damn good thing, and I screw up at the end. So, thank you again for joining us on this week's episode of Life Between Coasts. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to grow our community of listeners. We'd like to thank Antonio, also known as Queso Tone, this week for joining us. And we hope you have a great week. And until then, bye-bye.